Welcome to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience reigns and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. I'm Gina, your guide on this empowering journey. With a mission to help women overcome trauma, I'm here to inspire you to cultivate a positive mindset, embrace self-love, and find peace. Join me as we celebrate strength, reclaim power, and triumph over adversity together. What if your worth has nothing to do with how hard you try? Not how much you give, not how much you prove, not how much you carry, just who you are. Before we go any further, I want you to pause with me, not to achieve anything, not to fix anything, just to be. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Now imagine this. You're lying gently in a hammock, swaying softly in the warmth of the day. The sun rests against your skin, steady, soft, comforting. Your toes stretched just enough to brush against the cool green blades of grass beneath you. The earth feels steady there, supportive, certain, unshaken. Above you, the sky stretches wide, brilliant blue with clouds drifting slowly, effortlessly. Not rushing, not striving, just existing exactly as they are. Birds sing nearby, light, free, unburdened, and every now and then a butterfly flutters close. It doesn't force its beauty. It doesn't hustle to be seen. It doesn't question if it's enough. It simply is. And that is what makes it captivating. Take a breath here, because this is the energy we're stepping into today. For so many women, especially those who have experienced trauma, softness wasn't always safe. You may have learned that being soft meant being hurt, that being open meant being taken advantage of, that being gentle meant being overlooked. So you adapted. You became strong, independent, resilient. You learned how to push through, hold it together, keep going, even when you were tired. And on the outside, that looked powerful. But on the inside, may have felt like you were constantly working to prove your value, like you had to earn your worth through doing more, giving more, being more. And somewhere along the way, rest started to feel uncomfortable. Slowing down felt unfamiliar. Receiving felt unnatural. Softness felt like something you had to guard against. But here's the truth I want you to feel in your body today. You were never meant to hustle for your value. Your worth was never something you had to prove. It was something you were always meant to embody. Because real healing doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from softening enough to finally come home to yourself. What if strength isn't just about how much you can carry, but how safe you allow yourself to feel? What if strength looks like this? Letting yourself rest without guilt, letting yourself receive without earning, letting yourself be without performing. That kind of softness, that's not weakness, that's power in its most grounded form. So today we're stepping into something different. Something that may feel unfamiliar at first, but deeply needed. We're stepping into the softness revolution, a way of healing that doesn't require you to exhaust yourself to feel worthy, a way of showing up in your life that is rooted in self-trust, not self-pressure, a way of remembering that you don't have to become more to finally feel like you were enough. So as you lie there in that hammock, feeling the warmth of the sun, the steadiness of the earth beneath you, and the quiet beauty of life unfolding all around you, I want you to breathe this in. You are allowed to soften without losing your strength. You are allowed to rest without losing your worth. You are allowed to be without proving anything at all. Let's explore this together. Let me ask you something gently. Have you ever felt like you had to earn being loved? Like you had to be helpful, agreeable, strong, put together, just to feel like you were enough? Maybe you became the one who always showed up, the one who handled everything, the one who didn't ask for much but gave everything. And on the outside, that looks like strength. But on the inside, it can feel like you're constantly working for something that never quite feels secure. If that resonates with you, I want you to hear this. You didn't just wake up one day believing you had to prove your worth. You learned it. Because for many women who have experienced trauma, love, support, or attention didn't always feel consistent. Sometimes it came when you were doing well, when you were easy, when you were quiet, when you were good. And when you weren't, it may have felt withdrawn, unavailable, unpredictable. And in those moments, your mind did something incredibly adaptive. It tried to make sense of it. And the conclusion it often landed on was this: if I want to be loved, I have to be a certain way. So you begin to adjust. You learn how to read the room. You learn what's expected. You learn how to become what keeps you safe or accepted. You become more helpful, more accommodating, more self-reliant, more put together. Not because that's who you naturally are, but because that's who you learn to be, to receive something you needed. And slowly, your worth becomes tied to your performance, to what you do instead of who you are. And this is where the hustle begins. Not the hustle for success, but the hustle for worthiness. You start to believe, if I do more, I'll be enough. If I give more, I'll be valued. If I hold everything together, I'll be loved. So you push, you strive, you overextend, you carry more than you should, because somewhere deep inside it feels like stopping might cost you something. Love, approval, connection. And here's why softness can feel so unfamiliar. Because when your worth has been tied to doing, being feels unsafe. Rest feels unproductive. Receiving feels uncomfortable. Letting go feels risky. Because your system has learned, if I'm not doing, I'm not enough. So even when you're exhausted, you keep going. Not because you want to, but because slowing down feels like you're losing your sense of value. Your worth was never meant to be something you earn. It was never meant to be tied to how much you give, how much you do, or how much you carry. That belief was created in moments where love felt conditional, where safety felt uncertain, where you had to adapt to feel secure. But those moments, they were not the truth of who you are. They were the environment you were navigating. Because here's the shift. When you begin to understand that your worth was learned as conditional, you can begin to unlearn it. You can begin to separate who you are from what you've been doing to feel enough. You can begin to ask, what would it feel like to be valued without performing? What would it feel like to rest without guilt? What would it feel like to simply exist and still be worthy? And that's where healing begins. Not in doing more, but in allowing yourself to experience something different. So if you take nothing else from this moment, take this. You were never meant to hustle for your worth. You were meant to live from it, to move through your life from a place of knowing, not proving, from a place of being, not performing. And this This is where the softness begins to make sense. Because once you understand why you've been hustling, you can begin learning how to heal without it. Now that you understand why you've been hustling for your worth, the next question becomes, how do I actually begin to heal without pushing myself to exhaustion? Because healing was never meant to feel like another thing you had to prove. It was meant to feel like a return to your body, a return to your truth, a return to a version of you that no longer feels like she has to earn her place. So let me walk you through the Softness Framework. 5 ways to begin healing from a place of ease, intention, and self-trust instead of pressure. Number 1, slow down enough to feel again. I allow myself to pause. When you've been in hustle mode for so long, slowing down can feel uncomfortable because movement keeps you distracted. But stillness allows things to surface, and that can feel unfamiliar at first. But healing begins when you give yourself space to feel without rushing past it. Here is an example. Instead of immediately filling your day, you create small pockets of pause, a few minutes of quiet, a moment to check in with yourself, a breath before reacting, because you can't heal what you don't allow yourself to feel. Number 2, replace pressure with compassion. I meet myself with kindness. Hustle says, you should be further along. You need to fix this faster. Softness says, you're doing the best you can. It's okay to take your time. Here is an example. When you notice yourself being hard on yourself, you gently shift the tone. Instead of criticism, you offer understanding. Instead of pushing, you support. Because compassion creates safety, and safety is where healing actually happens. Number 3, do less, but with intention. I don't have to do everything to be enough. Healing isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually matters. Not every tool, not every step, not every expectation. Just what feels aligned and supportive for you. Here is an example. Instead of overwhelming yourself with everything you should be doing, you choose one thing, one journal entry, one moment of awareness, one intentional shift. And you allow that to be enough. Number 4, let yourself receive without earning it. I allow support in. This one can feel big because when you've been used to doing everything alone, receiving can feel uncomfortable. But healing deepens when you allow support in without needing to prove why you deserve it. Here is an example. You let someone help you without immediately trying to repay them. You let someone listen without minimizing your feelings. You allow yourself to be held without guilt. Because support is not something you earn, it's something you are allowed to experience. Number 5, trust that rest is a part of growth. I am allowed to rest and still be worthy. This might be the hardest one, because when your identity has been tied to doing, rest can feel like you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Growth doesn't only happen in movement. It happens in restoration and integration and giving your mind and body the space to process what you've already been through. Here is an example. You rest without justifying it. You slow down without guilt. You allow yourself to not be in constant motion because rest is not the opposite of growth. It's part of it. This isn't about doing healing right. It's about doing healing in a way that actually supports you. Less pressure, less performance, less proving, and more presence, compassion, self-trust. Because when you shift from hustle to softness, healing stops feeling like something you're chasing and starts feeling like something you're living. You don't have to exhaust yourself to become whole. You don't have to push yourself to be worthy. You don't have to hustle your way into healing. You're allowed to soften and still grow. And this is where everything begins to shift. Not in how hard you try, but in how gently you allow yourself to become. Before we close today's conversation, I want to invite you into a moment that is just for you. No expectations, no effort, no performance. Just presence. If you're able to, gently close your eyes. If you're moving through your day, simply soften your focus and stay connected to your breath. Take a slow breath in through your nose and release it gently through your mouth. Again, breathe in and let it go. Allow your shoulders to drop. Allow your jaw to soften. Allow your body to settle. Now imagine yourself back in that peaceful place. You're lying gently in the hammock, the sun warm against your skin, your body fully supported beneath you. Your toes brush softly against the cool green grass. The earth feels steady, grounded, certain. Above you, the sky stretches wide, clouds drifting slowly, effortlessly. Birds sing in the distance, and a butterfly moves gently through the air, unrushed, unforced, just existing. Take a breath here, because this is the energy you're stepping into. Now gently bring your awareness inward and ask yourself, where have I been pushing myself? Where have I been trying to prove, fix, or hold everything together? Don't overthink it. Just notice what comes up. Maybe it's in your chest, your shoulders, your stomach. A heaviness, a tightness, a quiet pressure that says, keep going, do more, be better. Just notice it. No judgment. This is what you've been carrying. Now take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, imagine that pressure loosening. Not all at once, just softening. Now gently say to yourself, I don't have to carry this right now. Again, I don't have to carry this right now. Feel what happens in your body, even if it's small, even if it's subtle. That shift matters. Now imagine something powerful. All the pressure you've been holding, the expectations, the constant need to do more, the belief that you have to earn your worth, begins to gather in your hands. You can feel the weight of it, heavy, tiring. And now you gently place it down right beside you. You don't throw it. You don't force it away. You simply set it down because you are allowed to. Now imagine yourself leaning back into the hammock again, your body lighter, your breath deeper, your energy softer. You're not holding everything together in this moment. You're just here. And in this space, you begin to feel something new. Not pressure, not urgency, but peace. Now place your hand gently over your heart. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale and say quietly to yourself, I am allowed to soften. I am allowed to rest. I am already enough. Again, I am allowed to soften. I am allowed to rest. I am already enough. Let those words settle into your body. Let them take root. Now take one final deep breath in and slowly exhale. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back. Because this is what healing can feel like. Not rushed, not forced, but gentle, supported, and real. As you come back into this moment, just take a second to notice what feels different. Maybe your breath is slower. Maybe your body feels a little lighter. Maybe there's a quiet sense of space where pressure used to sit. And even if it's subtle, that's where healing begins. Not in doing more, not in pushing harder, but in moments like this where you allow yourself to soften without needing to earn it. And here's something I want you to hear, especially right now. You don't have to figure this out alone, because while What you just experienced is powerful. This kind of softness becomes sustainable when you have a space to continue practicing it. A space where you don't have to perform, a space where you don't have to prove your worth, a space where you can slowly unlearn the patterns that taught you to carry everything and begin creating a new way of moving through your life. That's exactly why I created Finding Direction from Within. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about helping you release what was never meant to be there in the first place. Inside this experience, we take everything you touched on today, the pressure, the patterns, the beliefs around your worth, and we gently begin to unwind them. We create space for you to reconnect with yourself, to build self-trust in a way that feels safe and steady, and to learn how to live from a place of enoughness instead of chasing it. Whether you move through it at your own pace or choose deeper support alongside me, this is a space where you are met with understanding, not expectation. No pressure, no perfection. Just a place where you can continue becoming without having to hustle for it. So if something inside of you feels that quiet pull, that gentle knowing that you're ready to experience healing in a different way, you can explore Finding Direction from Within at www.bodyelementsmindelevation.com. Not because you need to do more, but because you're ready to finally be, without feeling like you have to prove anything at all, and you don't have to walk that path alone anymore. As always, thank you for being here with me today. Wherever you are, may you move forward with a little more softness toward yourself. A deeper knowing that your worth has never been something you had to earn, not through effort, not through perfection, not through how much you carry for everyone else. You were never meant to prove your value. You were meant to live from it. So as you continue on your journey, may you release the pressure to be everything all at once, and instead allow yourself to unfold gently, honestly, and in your own time. And just like the sun that rises without striving and the butterfly that transforms without force, may you remember this. You don't have to hustle to become enough. You already are enough. This is Gina, signing off. Thank you for tuning in to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience prevails and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Keep embracing your strength, cultivating resilience, and shining your light bright. You are capable of triumphing over any challenge life throws your way. Until next time, keep rising and thriving. You've got this.